This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
The real thing was modest by comparison. It was designed around a secret. Only our families, our officiants, and Brad's best friend Kelly knew we were actually getting married that day. We wanted it to be a surprise. That was our way of mixing things up a bit, of taking pressure off the event. For years, audiences had seen me as the bride from their favorite wedding movie, and I was worried people at my real ceremony would say, it was nice, but the movie was better. And Brad, a musician, grew up playing at other people's weddings and hated the tension he felt at every one. We were determined to make ours fun. The only real concern I had that day was my mother, Linda. When I look back now, the pieces of the puzzle fit together in a way they couldn't have then. My big day gave me the first glimpse into what was coming. In the Hollywood version, Mom was just an extra, on screen for a few seconds. You can see her there still, in the reception scene. She's wearing a sparkly gold top and giant pearl earrings borrowed from wardrobe, and her hair is in tightly permed curls. She's laughing with Diane Keaton and drinking fake champagne. You can't hear their words, but she and Diane were giggling about pet dogs. She looks happy and self-confident. But in the oceanside hotel room in Malibu on the day of my real wedding, Mom was crying because she couldn't be part of the ceremony. She'd always loved the bustle and laughter of a party or celebration, didn't want to miss a minute of fun, and was often the last to leave. Now, it seemed, she'd only just realized that she had no role to play, no words to say in a major family event. She felt left out. Long before that day, Brad and I briefly discussed the simple program with my parents over the phone. We invited my dad to stand up, introduce me to Brad's guests, and talk about our family. We designed the rest of the ceremony without their input. We asked Kelly to honor his and Brad's long friendship with a little speech. We asked Brad's Baptist preacher, Mike Glenn, and my Episcopal priest, Susan Harris, to fly out to California and marry us together. That was it. Simple and easy. I wanted Mom to be involved in other aspects of the preparation. I sought her help on one of my dress fittings and consulted with her on the guest list. She added more than 24 people because she didn't want anyone to feel excluded. Now, as we went over the specific plan hours before the ceremony, she wept. I felt terrible that she was upset about it, but I didn't know what we could add at this point. Susan stepped in and suggested that Mom read a letter of Paul to the Colossians. My mother is the least religious person in our family, and I don't know if she'd ever recited a Bible passage aloud, but she seemed comforted for the moment. That rainy evening in the chapel at Pepperdine University, all our guests inside believed they were attending the rehearsal. They thought it strange, I'm sure, and maybe even a little annoying, that they were even asked to come. There were no ushers, no quiet organ music, no buzz of anticipation, no separation of bride's guests and groom's guests. Friends and family in casual clothes sat or wandered around as they wished. Waiting for me to arrive, my husband-to-be chatted and chewed gum. I was back in the hotel room with my brother Jay and sister Ashley getting ready to go. Both of my siblings had lived with me at different times years before in my tiny house in Santa Monica. Jay was my housemate while he worked long hours as a camera assistant on television shows, and then after he quit to become a firefighter. He slept in my second bedroom, stored his unicycle and surfboard in my basement, and helped keep a tidy home. We sometimes took meandering adventure walks to unplanned places, often winding up at the pier 15 minutes away and riding the Ferris wheel with the last dollar bills in our pockets. Ash crashed in my basement after she graduated from college and got cast almost immediately as the female lead in an NBC series, Good Morning Miami. She was thrust into the spotlight for better or worse, as I had been. In the hotel room, Ash had taken off her underwear and given it to me because mine was showing lines under the thin white fabric of my wedding dress, my something borrowed. I could share pretty much anything with either of my siblings, and I was grateful they were there to calm me. We left on time. My father, Gurney, drove cautiously on the wet roads. Mom started singing Christmas songs, off-key, and Ash and Jay somewhat reluctantly joined in. It was March. They suddenly seemed manic, in serious need of stress release. "Christmas is coming, the goose is getting fat," they screamed. Ash and I clutched hands in the back seat as we had before in scary times. I would be the